Jazz. My name is Dr. Mark. This channel exists to give you the calm, science-based specifics that often get lost in a rushed 15-minute appointment. Stay with me through all of this, Jazz. Because the fourth mistake we'll cover, the one involving your kitchen, is something the news is missing entirely right now. Before we go further, if this kind of straightforward, Jazz, fact-checked information is useful to you, go ahead and subscribe. It helps more people in our community find the information they need to stay independent and capable. Now, Jazz, let's get into the first mistake, mistake 1. The measurement trap, blood pressure. The first mistake most men make is assuming their blood pressure reading is a fixed biological fact. It isn't, Jazz. It's a snapshot of a 2-minute window. Research shows that office blood pressure readings can run 10 to 20 points higher than your actual pressure, simply because of how they are measured, Jazz. Think about your last visit. Did you sit quietly for full minutes before the cuff went on? Most people don't, Jazz. Even a brief conversation about your symptoms while the cuff is inflating can raise your systolic pressure by 10 to 15 points. There are 5 specific measurement mistakes I see every day, Jazz. The rest gap, not sitting for 5 minutes before the test. The arm drop, having your arm hanging at your side or held in the air rather than supported at heart level. The crossed leg spike, Jazz. Crossing your legs adds about 6 points to your systolic reading. The backless seat. Sitting on an exam table without back support forces you to engage core muscles, which pushes the number up, Jazz. The talking tax. Speaking during the measurement. If any of these happened at your last appointment, you might be making medication decisions based on a number that isn't yours, Jazz. But there's a deeper part of this mistake. Ignoring pulse pressure. Pulse pressure is the gap between your top and bottom numbers. If you are 145/70, your pulse pressure is 75, Jazz. In adults over 60, a pulse pressure consistently above 60 is a better predictor of heart attack risk than either number alone, because it's a direct readout of arterial stiffness. Mistake 2, Jazz. Ignoring the nitric oxide gap. The second mistake is drinking just water and assuming that's enough for hydration. While staying hydrated is important, Jazz, your cardiovascular system after 60 is asking for something more specific. I want you to picture your arteries as garden hoses. When you're younger, those hoses are elastic and flexible. As we age, Jazz, they naturally begin to stiffen. This is driven by something I call the nitric oxide gap. Nitric oxide is a molecule your vessel walls produce to tell your arteries to relax and widen. After 60, Jazz, we produce less of it. Most men attribute their cold feet or feeling winded on stairs purely to getting older. Often, it's actually a circulation issue caused by this gap, Jazz. The mistake is not using targeted drinks that provide the raw materials your body needs to create nitric oxide. Clinical evidence points toward 5 specific drinks. Beetroot juice, Jazz. This is the gold standard. It uses the dietary nitrate pathway to boost nitric oxide, which can reduce systolic pressure by 5 to 9 points over a month. Hibiscus tea, Jazz. This acts similarly to an ACE inhibitor medication. A warning here, if you are already on an ACE inhibitor like lisinopril, you must talk to your doctor before adding this, as it can lower your pressure too much. Green tea. It contains EGCG, which activates the enzyme that produces nitric oxide from within the vessel wall. Tart cherry juice, Jazz. Rich in anthocyanins for inflammation and a natural source of melatonin to help with the sleep cycles that support heart health. Coconut water, Jazz. A high potassium source that helps the kidneys flush out the sodium that keeps your pressure high. The mistake isn't just what you drink, but how. For example, Jazz, using mouthwash immediately after beetroot juice kills the bacteria on your tongue that are required to convert those nitrates into heart-healthy nitric oxide. Mistake 3. GAS. The protein deficit, anabolic resistance. Mistake number 3 is eating like you did when you were 40. I want to tell you about James, a 77-year-old who was recovering from a minor surgery, GAS. His recovery was slow and he felt weak. When we looked at his blood work, his albumin, a protein made by the liver, was at the low end of normal. Most men think they need less protein as they age, GAS. The biology says the opposite. After 60, the body develops anabolic resistance, meaning it becomes less efficient at turning dietary protein into muscle, GAS. You actually need more protein per pound of body weight than a 30-year-old to maintain your muscle mass and functional reserve. The current research suggests aiming for 1:1, GAS, 5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. But here is the specific mistake. Men often eat all their protein at dinner, GAS. Your body has a ceiling on how much protein it can use for muscle synthesis in one sitting. If you want to maintain your strength, you need to spread that intake across the day, GAS, especially at breakfast where most men are the most deficient. Mistake 4. The invisible food safety risk. This next mistake is timely and critical, GAS. Most adults over 60 manage food safety by look and smell. If the lettuce looks crisp and the eggs smell fine, we assume they are safe. Right now, GAS, we are seeing a single point of failure in our centralized food supply. A single facility can ship millions of eggs or salad greens across dozens of states before a contamination is ever found, GAS. We are currently seeing outbreaks of salmonella in eggs and cyclospora in produce. The mistake most men make is thinking these are stomach bugs they can just tough out. At 70, GAS, your immune system's ability to contain a pathogen, a process called immunosenescence, is slower than it was at 30, GAS. What might be a bad weekend for a younger person can become a bloodstream infection in an older adult. Salmonella can be inside the egg before the shell even forms. Washing the shell does nothing, GAS. The only protection is cooking the egg until the yolk and white are fully set. Cyclospora is a parasite often found in irrigation water. It's hardy and doesn't always wash off, GAS. The mistake is not being proactive. I recommend checking the FDA recall database once a week. It takes 2 minutes and can prevent a major health event. Mistake 5, GAS. Waiting for symptoms, the baseline error. The 5th mistake is what I call the maintenance mindset. Many men believe that if they don't have symptoms, their heart is fine, GAS. One of the strongest signs that a 70-year-old will live a long, GAS, independent life is a healthy echocardiogram. One that shows good valve structure and a healthy ejection fraction before problems start. Knowing your structural baseline is foundational, GAS. It allows your doctor to make much more precise decisions if a symptom does eventually arrive. If you've never had an echo and you're over 65, especially with a history of high blood pressure, GAS, asking for one is a move toward optimization rather than just getting by. Mistake 6, GAS. The medication pile-up. Mistake number 6 is what we call polypharmacy. Taking 5 or more medications regularly. In my 21 years of practice, GAS, the patients who age the best are often on what I call a lean medication regimen. This doesn't mean they are avoiding necessary treatment, GAS. It means their lifestyle habits have made those medications unnecessary. The mistake is continuing medications for years without a formal review, GAS. Maybe you were put on a proton pump inhibitor, PPI, for acid reflux 5 years ago and just never stopped, GAS. Did you know that long-term PPI use can reduce stomach acid so much that it removes one of your body's primary defenses against foodborne pathogens? Ask your doctor about deprescribing, GAS. This is the systematic process of reducing or stopping medications that may no longer be appropriate or are causing more harm than benefit, such as certain sleeping meds or high-dose blood pressure pills that might be making you dizzy when you stand. Mistake 7. The purpose gap. The final mistake is the most human one, treating retirement as a period of withdrawal rather than a period of restructuring. A 2022 study followed 8 Zusan adults over 50 and found that those with the highest sense of purpose had a 46% lower risk of mortality over 4 years. This isn't just a feel-good concept, it's physiology. A clear sense of purpose is linked to lower cortisol and a more robust immune system. The mistake is assuming purpose has to be grand. It doesn't. It's about being needed. It's having a reason to get out of bed that involves a skill, a person, a garden, or a community role. For a man like Edward who felt flat after retiring, the fix wasn't a pill. It was reconnecting with a structure that required his presence. Your 30-day challenge. I don't want you to just watch this and move on, I want you to close the gap between information and action. Here is your challenge for the next 30 days. The 20-minute move. Commit to a daily walk of at least 20 minutes. Research shows that even 4,400 steps a day significantly lowers mortality in older adults. Walking builds the fast-twitch muscle fiber reserve that prevents falls. The protein shift, Aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast specifically. This helps overcome the anabolic resistance we talked about. The correct reading. If you have a home blood pressure cuff, take 1 reading a day using the correct technique. 5 minutes of quiet rest, back supported, feet flat, and no talking. Write down your starting numbers today. How long can you walk comfortably? What was your correctly measured blood pressure? Revisit those numbers in 30 days. The Healthy Aging Clarity Checklist before your next appointment. I want you to have 5 questions ready for your doctor. Based on my labs, is my HDL trending in the right direction? The sweet spot for longevity is between 60 and 80 milligrams DL. What is my pulse pressure, and does it show arterial stiffness? Can we review my medication list for anything that can be deprescribed or reduced? Are my albumin and protein levels adequate for my age? Was my blood pressure reading today affected by my measurement technique? If your physician can't engage with these specifics, it might be time to find one who focuses on building your functional reserve, rather than just cataloging your symptoms. There is a real difference between healthcare that responds to illness and awareness that prevents it. You have every right to understand your trajectory and every right to have the tools to change it. Start today with 1 correctly obtained reading, 1 protein-rich breakfast, and 1 20-minute walk. That's genuinely all it takes to begin. If this gave you something useful, go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget the longevity guide linked in the description below. It's a structured way to bring all of this into your daily routine. I'll see you in the next one.